My 55 male, wife of 2 years, 31, is very unhappy with her life because she feels like there's never anything fun or important to do. She did not finish college and feels too old to do so jobs are also out of the question. So it is no wonder that when her sister said she wanted to start her own boutique and take my wife on as a business partner, that my wife's mood started drastically shifting upwards. Starting a boutique is rather costly, and it's been tough to get investments on their end because potential investors are saying that there's too many boutiques. But I believe in their passion and think that if this worked out, it would be a good chance for my wife to feel like she's doing something meaningful. I'm not terribly liquid right now, but it would be another 4 years before my daughter goes to college, so I ended up investing $30,000 from the fund that her late mother and I put together. I told her, and she was furious with me and kept trashing my wife's business idea, saying it was dumb and she was dumb. Am I the a-hole? It's not like my daughter is going to college soon, but right now I really want to make my wife happy and not go into an early midlife crisis because she feels powerless in her life. She said herself this was a chance for her to do something important for her life. You're the a-hole. That money is for your daughter's future, something that your late wife invested in. Your wife is only 31. That's not too old to finish college or to do literally anything else that doesn't require you attempting to drain your daughter's fund. If your daughter comes across this, I'd advise her to contact a trusted family member to talk some sense into you. You're the a-hole. Do you have a plan on how to replace $30,000 in 4 years? Also, does your wife actually have a solid business plan? Or is it just, oh, I want to open a boutique? You're the a-hole. Your former wife wanted that for your daughter, not because your current wife is bored. 31 is young and plenty of time to go to school. Also, if investors who have done their homework say it's a bad idea, why wouldn't you listen? How long until she's bored of the boutique and working weekends for long hours to make sales? You just paid for some expensive trophy wife stuff. My wife is terminally ill. Because of that, she has been unable to show me any forms of physical affection, and the spark in our marriage is non-existent. We cannot divorce because the legal logistics would rattle shareholders in our company. Therefore, she agreed I could see others if I kept it away from the family. I've been dating this woman for about a year. At first, we were careful not to show PDA when we went out. But over time, she told me how much that hurts, so we started being affectionate when we were out on dates. A few months ago, somebody from my daughter's school took a picture of me kissing my partner and posted it on social media. My daughter ended up throwing a tantrum because it was a topic at her school, and she got a bunch of comments and questions. I explained that it was an arrangement that her mom and I had, and I deserved to be happy. Things have just cooled down, but for my birthday yesterday, my partner ended up sending me a present and a note that said she loved and missed me. She also sent my daughter a card congratulating her on finishing middle school. My daughter started screaming at me that she wanted this woman out of our lives. My wife also got mad because my daughter was mad, claiming I wasn't keeping it away from the family and that I let this present thing happen in front of my daughter's best friend, who she invited over for cake. However, she forgets that I really wanted to spend time with my girlfriend for my birthday, but I abandoned that desire for the sake of the family. My girlfriend makes me feel loved, and I love her very much. She has given so much to me, and I refuse to let go of my happiness because I feel my daughter would understand if she was older. Am I the a-hole? You're the a-hole. Your daughter isn't older. She is a young teenager who is about to lose her mother, has been made fun of by classmates because her father is openly involved in an affair, and is now being contacted by her father's mistress. The agreement you made with your wife included you keeping your affairs away from the family, and you're violating that agreement. Also, you are a mega monster-level a-hole for taking your mistress in public so that your dying wife also has to deal with the humiliation of being publicly cheated on. Your happiness does not take priority over your child's emotional well-being, nor your wife's right to die with dignity and peace, knowing that her child will be properly cared for by her father. If your head is too far up your mistress's butt to be able to see what is really important, then you need to cut the mistress loose until you regain proper perspective. Wow, you're the a-hole. This is a delicate arrangement you've worked out, and you are not protecting it. Presents from your girlfriend at a family party are totally inappropriate. Your girlfriend writing notes to your daughter is totally inappropriate. It sounds like you agreed to boundaries, but aren't taking much care to respect them. You're the a-hole. Where to start? So much for in sickness and in health, I guess. Or were the vows at your wedding in health and such other times that my S needs are 100% met? Otherwise, forget it. And your wife is compassionate enough to okay your affair with one rule, and you go out and break it and complain about it being unfair, even though it has caused your wife and daughter a ton of embarrassment. And then you're kind of a jerk to your girlfriend and your company as well, because it sounds like you're leading both of them on. And then there's poor daughter's best friend, the innocent bystander to all this drama, and her parents, who had to get an earful of what went down at OP's house on his birthday. Yikes! Who in your life haven't you hurt? I, 32 female, am married to Mark, 37 male, and we are child-free. This will be relevant later on. My husband and I met before the virus, so I did not get a chance to meet his family until summer of 2021, when we were already engaged. Even though we are different people, my parents-in-law are really lovely people. So Mark's sister, Ashley, 33 female, is married to John, 47 male. They do not have any kids because John doesn't want any more, and has taken steps to ensure this does not happen after they got together, but didn't tell her. He has 3 kids from his first marriage, which ended when he met Ashley 6 years ago. She does not work and relies on her husband for all her expenses, which has been a strain on their relationship. She pretends everything is perfect. My husband and I are both hard workers and savers. We are not cheap, but we budget everything and we spend money thoughtfully. We were in very similar financial situations when we met, and decided to share finances rather than worry about splitting everything. We go out to dinner once a week and travel 3 to 4 times a year because we have the means. Last weekend, my in-laws and Ashley along with my family came to our place for the Super Bowl. My family is close by, but Mark's is a plane ride away, so they were staying with us. We live in a high cost of living city in the northeast of the U.S., so we have a smaller place, but we own it. My in-laws took our guest room, which doubles as an office, and we put my sister-in-law in our spare space, which is an oversized closet I use as a reading room. From the moment they arrived on Friday, my sister-in-law was making negative comments about our lifestyle, things. She commented about her not having her own bedroom, bathroom, our building, the view, my clothes, not designer, our travel plans, our lack of children, only having 1 car instead of 2, the alcohol we provided, and the place we picked for dinner. She pretty much had something negative to say about everything. It came to a head during halftime when Rihanna was performing. My brother asked which country she was from, because he forgot, and my sister-in-law said St. Martin, and I laughed and said no, Barbados. Then she knows because she and her husband own a home in St. Martin, and I wouldn't know because we don't travel. I finally snapped and said she should ask her husband, since he is actually the one who owns the home, just like everything else she has. This is where I may have been the a-hole. I asked her just how ironclad her prenup was. Is it very secure, and is it an issue in their marriage? And then questioned her about her timeline on children. She got really flustered, and then spent the second half of the game in her room. The rest of the night was a little awkward, but no one said anything to me. I said goodbye to my parents-in-law before I went to work on Monday, but my sister-in-law was still sleeping. My husband thinks I was a little harsh, but that she had it coming, and my parents just thought it was out of character for me. Sister-in-law was pissed the whole trip home. Edited to add, I just want to be clear that my sister-in-law was loudly negative to anyone that would listen, including our friends who met up with us on Friday, family dinner on Saturday, and in front of my family on Sunday. Not the a-hole. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I just don't get why those with glass homes always throw the first stone. Everyone sucks here. Her for obvious reasons. You went much further than you needed to put her in her place. By all means, tell her to keep her jabs and negs to herself. By all means, point out that her finances are not hers. But the marriage and pregnancy stuff was just malicious. You went past slapping down her comment and just went to town on her generally. No need. Not the a-hole. You don't have to put up with someone insulting you like this in your own home. People should be called out for the a-hole crap they say, and that's what you did. Maybe she should think twice about being rude to you. Edit. I called my sister-in-law today and we talked. She came at me hard, and I let her. When she was done, I apologized for my swipes about children and her prenup, and then explained that she spent the entire weekend taking swipes at both my husband and I, while she was an uninvited guest in our home. She was mad at first, but eventually apologized. She did not really acknowledge what she was apologizing for, but it's a start. I did not include how our relationship started, which has a lot to do with how I respond to her. She did not know anything about me when my husband and I met, and I know he doesn't share much information about our lives with her, so she made a lot of assumptions. I did tell her she needs to cut the crap if she wants to be a part of our lives. Also, everything I know about her life, she told me herself. During the actual lockdowns, we did a few Zoom calls with her early on, and she told me all about her life. None of what I threw back at her was a secret to anyone in the room, since it was her parents, brother, and my parents and brother. My family knows all about her marriage because she told them, not me. I was wrong to use it against her, and I plan to make an attempt to work on our relationship moving forward. Finally, I called my in-laws and apologized to them as well. My mother-in-law was a little hurt by the way I went after her daughter, but my father-in-law pointed out to her that sister-in-law was not only being awful to me, but to their son as well, and it would be better if they just don't pick a side in any of this. I invited them to come again, but asked that they come alone now that they know how to navigate the airports and flights. I, female 26, have 2 cousins, female 33 and female 28. My oldest cousin, Jane, is married. My other cousin, Amy, just got married. I'm single. Right before she got engaged last summer, our grandma gave Amy's fiancé, John, a diamond ring to propose with. This ring is a gorgeous white gold and diamond ring that our grandpa gave her. He died when our dads were teens. My grandma has since remarried and always said that she'd pass on the ring. I won't lie, I've always loved that ring and hoped it would be me, but I'm also the youngest cousin, so I tried to temper my expectations. Mostly I was happy for Amy and glad the ring was staying in the family, and Jane agreed. Fast forward to this weekend, which was Amy's wedding. Neither Jane nor I were in the wedding, but we both went to the hotel room where Amy was getting ready. She asked if we wanted to see the rings. We were both confused, but said sure. And what she showed us was a gargantuan tacky engagement ring and wedding band set. I sputtered something like, "But I thought you were getting married with Grandma's ring." Amy just smiled and said, "Yeah, it is Grandma's ring." She explained that for her wedding gift, she asked John to upgrade the ring into this monstrosity since he didn't have to pay for an engagement ring in the first place. One of the diamonds was Grandma's, and then the white gold melted down to make one of her wedding bands, but the rest was all new stuff. I burst into tears. I was so shocked and hurt. I told her she destroyed our grandparents' heirloom. If she wanted a giant diamond to wear every day, that's her choice, but the ring was important to our family. Amy got huffy and said she had to finish getting ready, so Jane and I left. Jane was also upset, but had the attitude of, "It's Amy's ring, nothing we can do now." I told her I didn't think Grandma would have given it to John and Amy if she knew she was going to take it apart. I found Grandma and asked her if she knew what Amy had done. Amy's mom had told her that Amy had to have it resized and have the setting fixed, but Grandma had no idea that it was made into an entirely new ring. She didn't say anything, but I could tell she was upset. The wedding went on, but everyone could tell that there was some awkwardness between me and Amy and Jane, and Grandma was refusing to talk about the matter. Amy is saying I owe her an apology, but I don't think I'm in the wrong for saying she destroyed a family heirloom. Plus, the fact she didn't tell anyone what she was doing and misled Grandma says to me she knew she was wrong, or at least it wouldn't have been condoned. I feel like she saw it not as an heirloom, but a way to subsidize what she really wanted. I know the mature thing to do is just get over it and accept that it was given to Amy and she made her choice, but I'm finding it really hard to get over what she did. Am I the a-hole for feeling the way I do? Not the a-hole. What kind of a-hole takes apart a family heirloom? You can't be blamed for having an emotional reaction, and she's so trashy for what she did. Not the a-hole. OP asked if she was the a-hole for the way she feels. No one can be blamed for having a negative emotional reaction to something that happens. Was she the a-hole for running to Grandma? Yes, but that wasn't her question. OP, there's nothing you can do. Put it aside and realize you never had any say in what happened to the ring. Explain to your cousin that you were in shock and apologize. Not the a-hole. Amy knows she's in the pig pen with this, or else she wouldn't have either lied to or roped in her mother to mislead your grandma because one or both of them knew the decision to do jewelry surgery would have upset Grandma. You're right not to want to apologize to Amy, but ultimately, you ask your grandmother how she's traveling, because there's a good chance your grandmother feels she can't say anything about what's happened. My dad died when I was 14. I'm 25 now. I was always closest with my father, never my mother. After he died, My relationship with my mother was strained. I felt like I had lost two parents because she always treated me different. My brother would tell me it's because I remind her too much of Dad. I make a lot of money in my career, so I'm pretty well off. I bought her a new house only because my sister and her children live there. I took a 23andMe test recently, and the results don't make sense. My father is white. My mother is Pacific Islander and white. My ancestry came back as 60% Pacific Islander and 24% white and 15% West African and 1% other. If my father is a fully white man, then how would I only have 24% white DNA? I didn't confront my mother yet because I wanted to find out first if this was legit. I received a message on 23andMe of a family member trying to reach out. We shared 23.97% DNA, and he was my half-brother. I got in contact with him and found out he's 17 and lives in Hawaii with his father, who is black and Pacific Islander, and has cancer. I went to go meet him there, and they were the nicest people I've ever met. I felt that I had missed out on so much, and they wanted to be a part of my life. His dad confirmed that he was in a relationship with my mother in 1998. My parents had apparently gone through a small separation that I had no idea about. He said she told him she was pregnant and wanted an A and was going back to my dad. He gave her money for an A, and they parted ways and never saw each other again. Well, I was an aide, so she took his money and lied. I went to confront my mother about it. I asked her if my dad was actually my father, and with zero emotion said no. I was absolutely heartbroken and felt so completely lost. I understood why she never liked me, and it was because I was her secret love child. She said my dad wanted to raise me as his own. I've spent 11 years without a father when there's been another one out there this whole time. And now he's battling cancer, so I could potentially have two dead fathers. She didn't even seem remorseful to have lied to me for my whole life. She denied me of a relationship with a father knowing that's all I've ever wanted. I wrote her a check for $20,000 and told her to never speak to me or my family again. My brother, who basically licks my mom's butt, was very upset with me for that. He, among other family members, believe I'm acting too harsh and that she is my mother and I should forgive her. I've had other mother figures in my life that treated me 100 times better than my mom ever did. She kicked me out in high school, and my friend's mother took me in. The only one who thinks I'm not overreacting is my sister and my boyfriend. I've been hearing from family members who I haven't even spoke to in years, telling me that I'm a terrible child for what I did. So, am I the a-hole? Am I overreacting? Edit. She just cashed the check, so we'll see if there's no contact. Not the a-hole, but why waste $20K? You could just cut her out without the payment. You can be upset about the situation, but writing the check and all that is pure theatrics. You have to know she's either not going to cash the check, or even if she does, it's unlikely she'll never reach out again. If she really didn't want to, she wouldn't regardless. Also, why would you buy her a house just because your sister and your nieces and nephews live there? You could have just bought them a house. Not the a-hole to decide to go no contact with your mom. Financially, however, I think the house may be an issue or entanglement you have to deal with, whether you talk with your mom or whether it's done through lawyers. Your mother may have never been able to bond with or love you like you deserved, but it sounds like the man who raised you for 14 years was a good man and a good father.